I got y'all right now. We coming right up with this flat Earth geography. You know, Calico featuring Tasmaniac Wolf and McKinley Cougar. But right before that, like we always say, all power to the yes, to get touched, that's what these do a slip. Cross your neck, you won't do right back. Like greyhounds, young dogs ain't lead through. Speed, kill, don't what you kill. You seen a bees too. Faster but Tansi, the marks been dead too. Asimiana, war like it's a war tour. Battling us, world war, underworld you. You gonna twirl who you look like the deep blue. See, I perceive things you can't do. Lyrics like novelties by Maya Angelou. Do Ellen too, but see I had class 2. Your G pass rebuke you violate class. Yeah, we in the building. I got a Tasmaniac, and I got my boy McKinley Cougar in the building.
What's good? What's good?
Peace and love, brother. Peace.
Yes, sir. Let's see what we all got in the building. Got my boy Quentin Thomas already in the building. You know, and like I say, peace to all. Y'all know we're gonna pretty much get right on into it, you know, because we're gonna tap into this flat Earth geography. Matter of fact, my brother Taz, this is like part 1 to a nice sequel you got going on, huh?
Yeah, I've been working on this subject for about 3-4 years, just gathering all types of information because there's so many angles that you could touch on, you know. So for about 3-4 years, it was one of the first subjects that I tried to tackle, you know, as most flat earthers do. And I got a lot of information put together, not complete yet, but I got a good I got a good amount put together.
And I got my brother McKinley. You know, y'all can definitely find him just like it's spelled on Facebook. You know, my brother is die-hard researcher. You feel me? And my brothers also came to the conclusion that the earth is flat, so we here to build, you know. McKinley.
Yo, I appreciate you guys having me on here. You know, peace to our loved ones, peace to our mothers for getting us here. And you know, let's do this, y'all. I'm ready. Y'all got me in my folders. I'm going through some things, you know, but I'm ready, man. You know, this really means a lot, and I'm so grateful that you have the platform for us to do this, man, and reach out and have this conversation with everyone. I appreciate both of you.
That's for sure, and that's McKinley Cougar. Yeah, and I got my brothers over there on the other side of the pond, always supporting me. Let me I gotta shout them out. You know, UK 47 boxing. You know, I know him as Rap Star. You know, that's UK's finest. You know, wherever we may be, we are the finest from these areas. So, you know, I would advise for you all to tune in. You know, to all of us. But yeah, it's going all the way down. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna let my boy Taz take flight.
Well, like I was telling you guys earlier, you know, I've been messing with this subject for a while, so I got a lot of information put together. I'm not gonna touch on everything because there's gonna be I'm gonna do a full. There's a PowerPoint. There's an actual PowerPoint, damn near 100-slide PowerPoint. We're not gonna touch base on all of it because there's certain things that, you know, that I wanna I want to I want to do in my channel. So if you guys get a chance to, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna do the video with the Calico. So check me out on my channel on YouTube under the Taz Show. I appreciate it if you subscribe. But let's just dive in it. Just we're gonna go through some of the slides, and whatever the family feels, that is something they want to touch base on. Then we'll go into it. There is some that I'm just gonna definitely skip them over because I wanna go thoroughly into that, and I wanna know what it is exactly I wanna say. But anyways, is the flat Earth? It's a very controversial subject. It's gained a lot of momentum in the last. Not that it just started, but it's gained a lot of momentum. Probably the last what? I said the last
About 5 years. About the last 5 years, every year it got more and more steam.
Yeah, so so it's an older subject that it got brought back up, and now it's like literally in a lot of places. So, but we're not gonna get into the Trinity. We're not gonna get into carbon 12 because I want to go into that very detailed. Let's start right here with Mother Earth, all right? Because there's a lot of misconceptions out there, because we know that Earth, she's a woman, she's a feminine energy, a feminine entity, and most people will tell you, well, Taz, the Earth, is round and it got curves just like a woman. A woman got curves, yeah, but we're talking about creation. We ain't talking about her head. We ain't talking about her rear. We ain't talking about none of that. We're talking about creation, and what she utilizes to create is her womb, her stomach. So as we can see, we have a melanated goddess here that has the universe within her, and within her everything is being manifested. At least from my point of view, that is my perception of what the Earth is, as far as it being a feminine aspect. But please, if one of you guys want to add something to it, please.
See, right quick, I definitely wanted to touch on, just that right there, Mother Earth. Like everybody has gotten wrapped up as of late. Everybody's wrapped up into this idea of a mother land. Oh, this is my motherland. This is my. When did we start dividing the mother? Like we can't say I'm from her right leg below the kneecap. I'm over here by the hip, and and acting like that's a whole body. Like this is my motherland. I'm from the hip. That's a mother. No. The whole entire earth is the mother. So the earth is the motherland, or Mother Earth is your land. It can't be saying we from one little particular corner of the world. I'm just from her toenail. That's my mother. That's my mother. Nah, but yeah, definitely. We gonna touch on the mother. That's all it's about.
Yeah, when you showed that image at first, and honestly, gentlemen, I'm getting the chills just looking at that image. But where else, like you said, where else is creation done? Where else is creation made? And it seems as if they want us to believe this outrageous notion that we should put someone before our mothers, when our mothers are the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice in getting us here. And just there's principles involved. One of my favorites is the principle of correspondence, right? As above, so below. So if life is brought to fruition here through mothers, then we have to think that as above as well, as it was done before we were even considered, it had to have that motherly aspect about
it. I shake.
Most definitely.
Hey, Taz, you want to answer this question?
The still images taken of Earth in 1962 are those. So yeah, most definitely. The first thing that we could address is the fact that they're images. There's not a picture. So
Watch this. No, watch this. Composites. That's what we
yeah,
gotta let him know. He gotta know what that word means. See,
right. Since he mentioned image, if you go and look into NASA's website, you will never in no page that they have a picture of the Earth. Nowhere within the article that's explaining or talking about that image is not gonna say this is a picture of the Earth. It's gonna tell you that it's an image. The reason why is because it's a computer generated image, because they say that the Earth is too big. The Earth is too big. It cannot be taken with one picture. So what they have to do is they got to use all their satellites up there, and all the satellites are taking scans. It ain't even a picture; it's a scan of the Earth. And then they grab all these scans, all these composites, and they put them inside a computer. And this computer puts the shit together. And then there's this dude, Mr. Blue Marble. He's the one that goes and touches it up to make it look like what supposedly it is. So when you say that it's an image, you are right and exact, because it's not a picture. Jay Valentino, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you like the information.
And by composite, they mean all those scans, all those images that they collected were composed. They were composed and made to be one. So as you can say, you can say it was whatever they wanted to be. It could be round, it could be square, it could be whatever at that point.
Right. So let's go on to the next one. Let's see what we got here. So let's touch base on a couple of things first. All right. Everything within this world, in order to in order to exist, we know that it has to. We live in a place where everything in this world keeps recycling itself. All right. And the only way that that is possible is if you have an ecosystem. All right. With an ecosystem has to be concealed at all times. Nothing can enter it, nothing can exit it. Because during the process of entering or exiting, the ecosystem could get contaminated, and that would destroy the whole creation within it. All right. I have this dude at the bottom left hand corner. It says a man in England put a plant in a bottle in 1960, and the last time he watered it, it was in 1972. It continues to thrive because the sealed bottle is like a miniature ecosystem that recycles its own water and nutrients. So he put everything together. He started doing this since 1960. He started putting everything together, the dirt, and this. He started planting the seeds and all this other stuff. He put some of the minerals that it needed. Then he slapped some water inside of it, and then he closed it in 1972. He closed it for the last time. To this day, today, right now, you can look this man up. Because everybody in England goes and sees his little ecosystem. And to this day, right now, that ecosystem is green, thriving. No, he's never went back in there to add water, because the water keeps recycling itself, because the ecosystem has been contained. All right. And it's a little deeper than just a container. But go ahead, brother Calico.
They broke you up.
Huh?
No, I said it was breaking you up. I don't know if that was just my side. It was breaking up. I don't know if that was just my side or not.
Oh, okay. I'm not.
It was breaking you up. I couldn't hear the audio.
Yeah, if anybody's watching us, I am breaking
Oh, it's
up.
my side. Oh, shoot. Don't hold on.
But you could, if you are having audio issues with any of us, just let us know in the comments, and we'll be more than glad to address them. All right. Now, like I was saying, an ecosystem must be contained, so it could recycle all its resources, and through the recycling, creation will continue and evolve. Yeah, Jay Valentino said it was only your side. So yeah, it might have been your end. My apologies.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But but like I was saying, you know, it has to be in that format, including us, because you know we only come and overtake the vessel, the car, you know, the body, the flesh, because we're having a perception. You know, we come here to have a human experience. You know, we're not human. We're just having a human experience, and in order to have a human experience, we have to come into interaction with emotions, and emotions could only be felt through the carnal body, you know. And that's when you the avatar, yeah, most definitely. That is one aspect that you could look into it, where you know where they're transferring an essence from one place to another. All right. And there's a couple of videos. This dude right here, Bill Nile, you know, or whatever. I guess he's like supposed to be some scientist. I don't know how credible he is, but you know, he says some intriguing things that you know that he gets in trouble for, like sometimes. But oh, hold on.
So one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go. The earth is a closed system.
So
We cannot leave the earth. We can't.
so we see right there, you know, the fact that he's hold on, let me re-bring it back because that messed everything up. My apologies. But we could see through him, you know, Mr. Nile telling us that you know that there is no leaving the earth. There is no leaving the earth. You know, we live within a closed system. You know, and there's nowhere to go. There's literally nowhere to go. But let's listen to Mr. I forget this. This is an actual astronaut from NASA, and he explains how you know in order to get back to the moon, they got to figure out how to get through the Van Allen belts. All right, uh, 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 and we haven't figured that out yet. So I mean, if we haven't figured it out yet, I'm just curious as to how we got there the first time. How we get through the motherfuckers. They got an excuse as to why or how, you know. But I mean, you go read the or listen to what they tell you that they pulled off with the technology that they had back then to go to the moon. And if you believe it, then I mean, more power to you for having that much faith in the system. He write about the Earth is a closed system and the universe is a thermodynamic system. I believe it could go. I actually believe the same, just that I believe that both are one and the same. It's not an outside and an inside type of thing. Is everything is in here. Is within us. You know what? Within this realm. But let's listen to this dude real quick.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time to head home.
He said they must solve those.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
When interviewed, we're gonna pause it because it's totally tripping. But he tells you, you know, that you need what they need to solve is, you know, the radiation that will that will affect the humans that are going to be in these spaceships while passing through there, you know. So I'm
Hey,
just curious as to how they got through it the first time. Go ahead.
hey, hey, brother McKinley,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what you know about them Van Allen radiation belts?
Yeah, well, those Van Allen radiation belts, according to Werner von Braun, I know he had the scripture on his tombstone. I forgot the tombstone, but those are the firmament. And this idea of us passing through the firmament is a lie. And nobody's ever done it. And so, in order for Werner von Braun to put that on his tombstone, I'm sorry, I'm ill prepared. I should have had that. Is a hint to the rest of us as we're finding these clues to know that these things do exist, and that we are within a closed system, and for some reason they chose to lie to us, and so the truth there about the Van Allen belts is really an excuse. It's a gaslighting. It's a form of manipulation, right? So they can use this idea of the Van Allen belts to point to why it's difficult to get past this area for life to get past this area. Uh, at the same time, letting us know that it's impossible. So here's this double bind. Hey, yeah, we can do it, but we're not doing it. Hey, yeah, we did it, but it's dangerous. Or like the guy said in that clip where, oh yeah, we can't go past low Earth orbit, And so it's just amazing the type of manipulation it takes in order to get us to believe into the globe model. And they've used all types of psychological warfare to try and distract us from where we're at and why we're here, you know? And the Van Allen belt is an example of that.
Most definitely, most definitely. My view of it will be that, you know, that as long as we think that there is something other and bigger than what we have right here, we'll always look at ourselves as a minuscule part of an entire creation. And as long as you don't see yourself as the center of creation, you will always see yourself as not worth, nothing. Your worth diminishes when you think of yourself as living in an immense place that where the boundaries of it are so big that you can't even reach 99% of it, because all you could do is reach that 1% that's within the earth, you know, within the globe that you're supposedly under, you know. So it's to me, it's like keeping you from knowing where you're at. As long as you don't know exactly where you're at, they could tell you anything. They could tell you an asteroid is coming and tell you be scared, you know, or anything, you know. The weather modifications and the global warming, they could tell you all that shit, because you know all that is possible in the globe.
Right, that's called gaslighting, and if they can make us believe that we're spinning, but we just can't feel it, they can tell us anything,
Okay,
you know.
yep.
And this is that point where we're at, where we believe this logical fallacy, right? And the logical fallacy is the appealing to seniority. So we're going to appeal to someone else's experience, and because that someone else has a degree, then at spinning globe Earth, this person has a degree at spinning globe Earth. We're supposed to take his um, words. We're supposed to take his words, his explanation, as truth. And these are these things that they've tied to these ideas. Where we're going to put a logical fallacy. We're going to make them appeal to authority and say someone else did it, and because this person has the authority, you need to listen to them, right? And now we're trapped in that mindset that if we say hey, look, the earth is flat, someone will use one of these logical fallacies against it. And I found that it's Psalms 19:1. And it says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And that was I guess, the proof that people had before that we were in this closed system. Um, and there's a question, that I think that we have to answer. If we consider the sun as technology instead of this gaseous ball and we're floating and spinning around, we would then consider creation. But because they haven't taught us that the sun is a form of technology, we're not even close to coming to agreement with why we're here and what this place actually is.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. It is a very hard pill to swallow, but it is. But let's continue. Let's go. Let's move on because there's
Hey,
some.
hey, brother Ted, see if that'll play one more time.
Which one?
The Van Allen radiation belts, like so they can hear it out of their mouth. Because that video, every time I've done a video, I was on somebody else's video, and when I introduced this to him years ago, man, it would not play. It's like just like what you're doing right now. This is like 2 years apart, and it's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna press play and not enlarge it. Maybe that's fucking it up. Let's try it.
We get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time to head home.
Yeah, so right there, we're able to hear, that.
Hold on, rewind it like the last 10 seconds, because he just told them that they're gonna have to basically get some new technology to be able to pass that portion.
Right. Not only that, but he specifies, that they need to find technologies that is not going to be affected. So the question remains, what technology did they use when they did get there the first time, supposedly.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time to head home.
They must solve these challenges before they send people through this region of space. This surrounds the Earth. So you got, basically, they haven't been beyond that. It's like saying, I've never made it to the finish line, so I don't know what it's like to go all the way back there. I don't know what it's like to be in the back room. I never even made it to the finish line. Like if you don't make it to high school, you can't go to college. How the hell you got to the moon if you never even crossed the upper echelon of the ozone layers, which is a radiation, the Van Allen radiation belt?
Yeah,
they've never been to the moon. Period. The brother or sister was asking her, are there portals or ley lines on Earth? I don't know.
Nah, I would. I mean, anything we tell, at least from my point of view, anything we tell you in regards about that will be a complete theory or a guess, because unless there's something that Brother Calico hasn't told me, but I don't think neither one of us has gone nowhere, to these places, to be able to
Yeah,
at
we
least
have,
right, but
yeah, but underneath the Sphinx, but we do know. See, I always look at not like all of the pyramids. All pyramids to me represent like ant hill, because underneath you have cities. You know what I'm saying? You got so much underground networking going beneath every pyramid, and of course the Sphinx. Now at some point they probably, you know, surface dwellers like us, like people like something like us, probably cut off a certain amount of that, and these people are probably even further down than we could imagine. But we already know about cities and miles and miles and miles of underground networking beneath the pyramids. So that's what's definitely beneath the Sphinx.
most definitely. So let's go to so now this theory, or these ancient teachings, of this enclosed system. It's not something that that just started like right now. You know what I'm saying? It's something that throughout history, uh, uh, this is what has been portrayed as the way the earth is, except until now, which they presented us with this vast space, but when you look at Norse mythology and what they represented, like where we were at, it was in an enclosed system with a tree in the middle. All right, Egyptians as well. You have who is it that
The
got
world tree.
the sky got his nut, and the earth is gave,
Mhm.
which is an enclosed system. It's also an enclosed system. The Navajo, the Greek, the Incas, the Mayans, the Vikings, the Hindu, even the Chinese have an enclosed system that they portray. But when we come up to right now, we get this, and all of them, have a certain something that's portrayed usually as a tree dead slap in the middle, like a big enormous tree. So when we look at that tree,
Yeah,
uh,
no, yeah, and known as the world tree. You know,
right,
because
right,
many of us, I'll be over one of us on this panel would agree that what we call mountains, or a lot of times, remnants of these giant trees. And is no more than petrified wood.
yeah, most
So,
definitely.
yeah,
So you want to add something, brother McKinley, before I go to the next slide?
That's the most logical, and like you said, this isn't a new concept. The actual new concept is the spinning ball concept. And so um no, that's all I wanted to say, man. You doing that was perfect. I was looking up um gaslighting, and so they tell us, that these images are wrong, and that those people during the day had it all wrong, and now we have it right, and now they're using this against us, and trying to show people that NASA is the only ones that came up with this new idea of a spinning ball. Everyone else had it flat Earth with the tree in the middle. You know.
Right, facts. Also with with the enclosing surrounding it, where nothing could get out or in. So moving on to the next one. I see that as a representation of the tree of life, as above, so below. I'm not gonna get too deep into this one because, well, actually, I'm not. I'm just gonna, skip the slide, just over the fact that I really, really want to dig into that one. But let's look into the our chakra system with.
Hey, one second. I just for some reason I want to hear. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Hey, brother McKinley, I want to see how you might answer this question right here. The brother or sister asks, is the Earth expanding?
You know, back to the as above, so below. And there are certain things that we have been conditioned to believe, like an expanding universe, where there's no proof of that. So the as above, so below is the known and the knowable versus the unknown and the unknowable. Some of these questions come from the conditioning. So we don't know whether or not the earth is expanding because of how we've been conditioned before to think the universe is expanding. But what we've come to find out is that no, we're in a closed system. You know, and so one of those types of questions come from the forms of manipulation that they have inflicted on us over the years. And so now, instead of us thinking that we are the center of what we know, we think that we are drifting through space at speeds we can't imagine. But the truth, or what we're coming to find out is, the truth is it's a closed system, and we don't know what's beyond. And for us to try to explain that would do the whole cause and the whole movement an injustice.
Right. If I could just expand on that a little bit, I'm gonna switch PowerPoint real fast just to address one if you could show this real quick, brother, just so the family's aware. I'm gonna have a PowerPoint that's coming up real soon. That is you're not sharing the screen, brother. I'm gonna have a PowerPoint under the Kabbalion explained. So just be on the lookout for that, because there's gonna be something that's gonna be thoroughly. But just to expound on what the brother is asking about the Earth expanding, at least from my point of view, the Earth, if it's expanding, that means that creation is evolving. There's newer things appearing, and expanding even further. And I wanna touch base on this introduction that I have for my other PowerPoint, and I'm just gonna read it real quick just so you get an understanding of, there's really nothing new under the sun. There's only things that we've forgotten. But in the introduction for this other PowerPoint is going to be, you won't be seeing or hearing anything new today. This might come as a shock to some people. At the same time, some people might be encountering this information for the very first time, but that in itself does not equate to new information. It's been happening and it's been ongoing. Because it has yet to be perceived does not mean that it has not been ongoing. So nothing in this presentation is new or uniquely mine. The old saying, there is nothing new under the sun, means that the truth is subjective and eternal. Reality remains reality, whether or not it is recognized and accepted as reality. Is still the same thing. All right. So if we could embrace that, then we'll be able to manifest the fact that, yeah, creation could be anything, but as far as expanding from my point of view and from my truth, you have to find your own truth to yourself. I believe that everything expanding is within this realm. Anything else?
And just to throw another theory out there. Since we know we're dealing with the flat earth, and for one, we know regardless if it's round or flat, we all know this is a water planet, so we're dealing with water. And we also, especially with a flat earth, or flat earth or not, we're gonna say that earth has poles, but what a flat earth is gonna tell you, it's a ring around, and the ring is of ice. So what does ice or what does water do? Water is the only thing that doesn't shrink under cold. So it is actually expanding. That ring, this realm of existence that we call our world, is expanding as far as that ring goes, because that's what cold does to the ice or to the water. That's just a flat earth way to look at it, but it definitely is not expanding, from a ball's perspective, because they already told you it's a certain amount of miles around, and they've never told you anything about it getting an inch bigger. Yeah,
Right.
So we chakras.
Right. So if we look at the chakras and the toroidal fields, because we were talking about the Van Allen belts, and we know for a fact that if you ever came across somebody, some people, you'd be like, damn, that motherfucker give me a bad vibe. That means that when that dude came by, he didn't have to say nothing, just his aura, that toroidal field that surround him, his energy that he's giving off is this chakra energy that he's giving up, whether it be negative, positive, friendly, unfriendly, vicious, or whatever the case might be. But just like we have this chakra system that gives out these fields of energy, so does the earth, and they're called the toroidal fields. All right. Now these energy fields separate our earth, from anything coming in and anything. From my point of view, please don't believe nothing I'm saying. You go do your own research and come up with your own conclusion. I'm just explaining to you from my perspective, what it is that my conclusion has been. It's like a sine wave, but also spiraling, just still yeah, most definitely. So it's it's a lot like a Tesla coil, which was what Tesla was trying to show us. We're gonna get a little bit deeper into that, but a toroidal field is a field energy, that the Earth has, that it surrounds it, and it's emitting that. Now, when we look at what a toroidal field is, it says toroidal energy fields exist around everything: people, trees, the Earth, sun, and universe. Most torus dynamics contain two toruses or tori, like a male and female aspects of the whole. One is spiraling upwards and the other one downwards. The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field produced by the body. The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field produced by the body. When I'm telling you that your body has an aura around it, I'm not just saying it because I just want to say it, or I just want to tell you and sell you the fact that there is a chakra system within you. That's up to you to figure out. All I'm telling you is that scientifically speaking, the shit is there. Whether we want to accept it or not, there's nothing new under the sun. Reality is reality, and it does not need for you to accept it or know about it for it to be reality. You want to add something, brother Calico?
Hey, I'm cooling. I'm loving where it's going though. You know what I mean? Because you already know I damn near did a whole PowerPoint on toroidal fields also. So you know what I mean? I like where you're going. You know how you connected that with the Van Allen radiation belt.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's basically just like saying, like what would be able to get out the grasp of a tornado. If we were to declare the rings of a tornado as ozone layers, there is nothing that would escape those layers. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? So that's how you can even look at a toroidal field. Like there's no way. Ain't no way out. It's only one way in, and there's no way out.
You know, that's I'm looking at that ripple effect on the top right, man, and that's beautiful because I started to see images of what's at the center of the earth, the navel of the earth, right? And here's this ripple effect. Well, I noticed roundabouts, you know, and so what they say at the center of the earth is this magnetic core and this tornado field, and you know our hearts are beating, giving off this. My fault, Taz. I forgot how you worded it, but it made me think like you know that we are connected magnetically more than anything. You know, and this being proof of it, this magnetic field around us, this toroidal field around us, this magnetic center from this ripple effect, and the waters that enter and exit this system, you know. And it's just beautiful, guys. I'm loving the presentation. That's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, just to read the bottom one before we leave this slide. It says a toroidal field, on the other hand, is ring or donut shaped with no radial component in the Earth. Toroidal fields are confined to the core and are not detectable at the Earth's surface. Nevertheless, they play an important role in the production of the magnetic field. Science, and this is from Geomag, NRCAGC, Earth magnetic field. It says generation of Earth magnetic field. You know, the science community even knows that there is some type of energy out there. You know, like the dude was previously talking about, that we needed to figure out how to get through that shit first. You know, before we start sending people through there. You know, so because it could interfere with the technology. It could you know, it could get people sick, you know, because it's a type of what was it that he said it was a type of man, I forgot exactly what it was.
Radiation.
Radiation. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Radiation. But moving on. This one, I haven't finished it. We're gonna pass this ones on. I mentioned Nicholas Tesla in regards about his Tesla coil that he presented. At the same time, you know, he is a person that today in the present, you know, we're hearing a lot about, dude. A lot about, dude. We're finding out a lot about things about him, how they took his information. I made a videos about him and Trump, you know, in regards about the information that he had and how Trump's grandfather ended up with the information. It's a very intriguing time that we're in. So, you know, just him alone, it's when we're talking about this magnetic fields, we know that he was one of the ones that understood this aspect to the fullest, because he was about to introduce uh, uh, um, eternal energy. You know, it didn't, you didn't need to go recharge or keep on paying this energy company. He was going to change the world, and they stopped the man because they knew that they needed, you know, to be able to sell petroleum, sell gas, electricity, you know, and all this other stuff, and they didn't need no electric cars all over the place and none of that, even though they already knew that they had the technology for it. You know, and all this information. I made a video, like I said. You want me to play the video, Calico, or just you want to move on to the next one?
It, is it oh well, I'm sure it's relating to flat Earth. You might as well drop it on them.
Right. Well, it's not about flat Earth. It's the videos about the Trump bloodline. You
Well,
know,
now,
and
now,
yeah,
now
yeah, and how
we'll
it's
move to
related. Yeah, it's just about the relationship between him and Barron's marvelous underground adventure. Yes, yes, exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's exactly uh the Trump bloodline video is. Go to my YouTube channel under the tab too, um, uh, and go check out the video if you want to watch it. But moving on. there was a lot of technology that was found within him. You know, within the video beforehand, you'll be able to see that I speak in regards this about this technology in detail, about, you know, how all the information was given to Trump's grandfather, you know, to study and try to figure out, you know, well, what was this dude, you know, working on or whatever. And supposedly, you know, Trump's grandfather was like, well, I don't know what's going on, you know, but I couldn't figure whatever this dude was doing, it's beyond me, you know. I can't understand that. I couldn't figure nothing out, you know. But but there was information in there, you know, about anti-gravity devices, you know, or at least not devices but vehicles. And if they were an anti-gravity, it was, you know, a vehicle that defied gravity and put the heliocentric globe model that we know in great jeopardy. All right. So I suggest you guys look into him, you know, because I'm not gonna go into his whole patent and everything else, you know, because he does, Tesla does have a UFO patent or whatever, but and it's called the anti-gravitational aircraft, you know. But we'll look in. You guys could look that up. And for anybody, you know, that thinks that this information is new, you know, we're able to see just through our peoples, you know, our ancestors, that this is not information, I mean, technology that just began. It's just that we're barely being introduced into it. But at some point of time, traveling and the aspects of a computer and everything else were were
Hey, brother Taz.
yeah.
I definitely wanted to let my brother McKinley speak on this right here, because this is what he been you know harping on all night, trying to get the people to understand exactly what gaslighting is. I'm gonna let him go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad, gentlemen. I'm enjoying this so much. Taz, you had me ask myself, you know, are we magnetic beings? You know, and more than spiritual, are we magnetic? And just beautiful presentation, man. I was enjoying it. My bad. All right, gaslighting. Where is the definition? Let me see if I can zoom in on my phone so I can feel it a little better. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person or a group covertly sows the seed of doubt in a targeted individual, making them question their own memory and perception. Right. And so this is this whole idea of what they've done to us. And the first one is that you're spinning so fast you just can't feel it. And so now we're going to question our own God-given senses with this form of gaslighting, right? And uh, people experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves, right? And this is the part of the manipulation, that they gaslighted us first in order for us to think that we're on this spinning globe. And when we hear these types of phrases, that we need to be aware that we're being gaslit. You know,
Yeah.
that somebody does not want us to trust our own senses, and then they use this logical fallacy to add to that.
Hey, yeah, I was just gonna matter of fact, this is the one you shared to me exactly. I'm where you just said gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception of reality, or memories. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, did I do it? You know, like, damn, I know I didn't do it. What the fuck wrong with him? You know, you're making you question, you know, your sanity, your perception of reality, or even your memories. Like, you don't remember. You don't even know what the heck you talking about. You know, people experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, because, you know, that's one thing the Bible tells you, say confusion is of the devil, you know. So when that's how you know they some devils, you know. People experiencing people who do the gaslighting make other people feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves, you know. So they trust
I would like to speak on gaslighting,
I'm gonna get back to
and how it's
actually
used,
what Taz had up here.
how it's used as a tool of racism, right? And I was gaslit a lot because I'd be
Is he
like, "Hey,
pulling up?
did
There you
somebody
go.
hear that form of racism?" And people would say, "Oh no, you heard it wrong," or "That person was just joking," and that's a form of gaslighting, And so we've been gaslit on this topic, and I just wanted to give an example of that.
Most definitely, most definitely. That's something intriguing that that now you gonna have me looking it up, because it's interesting information for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because when you were saying about being magnetic,
Right.
like we are definitely electromagnetic. You know, so like a lot of times you'll hear, in the community, you'll hear us talk about, like, somebody might have to hit the mute right quick, but you'll hear us talk about electric foods, or having an electric diet. Well, I'm gonna tell you that you also need you need magnetic foods. You need a magnetic diet. They have, certain foods are magnetic, and some are more electric than anything. So you got to get your electric foods. That's most that you know what I'm saying. There's no doubt, but you also need magnetic foods. I'm end up probably pulling up some just to show y'all. But yeah, that's what it is. We electromagnetic beings, for real.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Now, I skip a couple of slides that before this one, just to get to specifically this one, because there's more information that leads up to gravity, through Tesla, but I want to leave that for the full presentation. Now, this gravity thing, is just a force that that has been presented to us, and it pretty much has debunked itself, since its creation, and they've always come up with another excuse as to why it is that it's happening. It's a lot of things that that don't associate the right way when it comes to what they claim this gravity is supposedly is doing. So let's just look into a couple aspects or whatever, now, pretty much when you talk about gravity, it's a from what they tell you, it's a force that is pulling everything towards the center, right? It happens within everything, I'm not saying it does. I'm just telling you what science tells you or whatever. In my own version or whatever. Well, I have a thing right here. It says gravity or gravitation is a natural phenomenon by which all things with mass or energy, including planets, stars, galaxies, and even light, are brought towards one another. On Earth, gravity gives weight to physical objects, and Moon's gravity causes the ocean's tide. All right, I want you to think real high, to keep that in mind, because this gravity is supposedly what gives us our weight, and it's also pulling everything towards each other. So it's a force that is always doing this, pulling everything towards the center, and it has the logic tells you that if it's pulling, as it's pulling, eventually it's gonna, is going to pull everything into that one center, and people started realizing that so pretty much what they did, once people started realizing that at one point of time everything was going to be squished into oblivion, then science came and they came up with what they call dark energy, and right here on the left it says dark energy is the name given to an unexplained force. You got to have a lot with this type of science. You got to have a lot of, it's a belief system. You gotta believe. You gotta have faith. You gotta have a lot of faith in these people. But it says dark energy is the name given to an unexplained force that is drawing galaxies away from each other against the pull of gravity at an accelerated pace. Dark energy is like anti-gravity, where gravity pulls things together at the more local level. Dark energy tugs them apart on a grander scale, on a bigger scale. So now, whatever this gravity is doing here, to everything else, this dark energy is pulling everything aside. So now the whole concept of, oh well, eventually the world's gonna get squished into the whole universe is gonna get squished into one point. No, 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 don't worry, because that will cause a panic. If even if you don't know when it happens, just the fact that you know that there's a possibility that might happen because of gravity, then they had to come up with something to deter people from going nuts over that. And they came up with dark energy. With that now pulls it away because with a greater force than gravity. But then
Right.
right, but that creates a problem because then there's telling you that eventually these this thing is gonna pull everything apart completely because it's a lot stronger than gravity. This dark energy is a lot stronger than gravity. So to pull everything, I guess, into a form of if right now it's a tug of war, this way, that way. But the one that's winning is dark energy because gravity is not that compared to dark energy. Gravity is not all that. So so now dark energy is winning.
My
Huh?
fault. My fault for interrupting, my man. But this is one of those examples of them using a logical fallacy. This make believe, right? This make believe. Well, everyone else jumped off the building. Everyone else believes in dark energy, right? When the truth is, gravity is a gaslighting technique to get people to believe in the globe, right? When everybody's straight up, everybody's standing straight up. If you take a picture in Australia, it's up. You know what I mean? And so they use this idea of tying this this um this antithesis, right? So you have, oh well, gravity should, like you said, gravity should make us all implode on each other. So they go, well, no, we got to make something up in order to contradict that, right? Instead of everybody standing straight up on a flat stationary plane, right? And so this is their technique. This is their technique. We shouldn't even, the word gravity shouldn't even exist in our vocabulary, but because we live under their rules, we're not talking about mass, density, volume, and those certain things. As a matter of fact, that's tied into math, and people don't like math, and so now it's something totally different. I can just say gravity, and people will leave me alone. Instead of there being a true explanation, they tie this complete opposite. They tie this complete opposite to their first explanation, and then give us that, and we're going to be tested on it. So you better know about dark energy, and it's something that they just completely made up. You know, my fault. It's one of those things where it's like we shouldn't even talk about gravity. Gravity is one of those things that we should be far beyond because it was a tool used against us. You know what I mean? In order to explain away that ball. And so now that we're hip, hey, centrifugal force doesn't work that way. If we use centrifugal force, the water would shoot out of the ball. And they go, well, that's because dark energy is holding it together. And it's just something else that they made up in order to gaslight us again on the nature and the reality of this realm. My bad.
No, no, no. Thank you for sharing that. I'd love to expand. You want to add something, brother Calico?
Oh no, my sister Denise was hitting it right on the head when he was speaking about gravity and stuff, and she was talking about density and buoyancy, But this is one of her master subjects also, and she definitely gonna be here for part 2. But matter lighter than air floats, matter heavier than air falls. That's real. That's for real, and they made gravity a law. Yeah, that's for real, man. It's so funny. You know, watch this. I tell people, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's not even a theory. Watch this, because theory is the word theo. Theo means God. You know what I mean? Gravity ain't no God. You know what I mean? Like, I see things defy gravity all the time. You know what I mean? So that's what I gotta say. It's not even a theory, man. So it's damn sure ain't no law.
Most definitely, most definitely.
You
So from this great tug of war that science and tells us or whatever, it's a big hope. But since we're talking about what it is instead of that, what it is that's really happening, like the sister Denise was saying, we have to address, you know, density and buoyancy, because it's there's no way around it. There's no way that you could go into talking in regards about something holding us down without speaking of the aspect that our body has mass within it, and the more mass, the more matter it has in it is denser, and because of it, it has weight added to it. So if gravity is pulling us down and our weight is pulling us down, bro, that's a lot of force upon our shoulders. You know what I mean? How do we even stay standing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real.
When we look at density, it says density is a measure of mass per volume. The average density of an object equals its total mass divided by its total volume. An object made from the comparative dense material, such as iron will have less volume than an object of equal mass made from some less dense substance, such as water. All right. Now, a lot of people might think that this is not a good explanation. So, real fast, because I really want to touch on this. Before I even switch to it, I want to add whoever is in the audience watching, I would like to ask, as well as here in the panel, how do you think of fishes or fish in the sea go up and down? How do they go up and down in the water? What causes that motion? Is it because they're swimming and paddling around, or what causes that motion? If anybody,
Okay.
if anybody has any input, I mean, for you, whatever. If
You,
not, go ahead, bro.
you say what causes what the motion what the ocean?
Like fish in the sea, whether it be a shark or a dolphin or a regular small fish or whatever, what is it that causes them to go up and down inside the water?
What causes them to go up and down? Oh yeah, that's real. That's real. I understand what you're saying.
Right. Well, let me show you something so we could understand better. I wanted somebody to try to take a gander at it, but we're gonna switch to this presentation right quick, and we're gonna talk about a bladder of a fish. All right, we're gonna talk about the Vesica Pisces real quick. We're gonna switch it up because this is the Kabbalion presentation. But I took a shot at gravity on my Kabbalion presentation. Why? Because fish, all right, or Vesica Pisces. If you do not know what a Vesica Pisces is, go look it up and get some information on that. Or if not, wait until I drop my presentation. You'll be able to see it. But it says bladder of a fish. In Latin, Vesica Pisces literally means bladder of a fish, reflecting the shape resemblance to the conjoined dual air bladders, aka swim bladders, found in the vast majority of fish. To control buoyancy, the fish will gulp water and force it through its gills. Through the process, dissolving oxygen goes into the fish's bloodstream. This oxygen then travels to the swim bladder controlling the buoyancy of the fish. To go up, the fish relaxes its muscles and allows the bladder to increase in size. And to go down, the fish will contract its muscles to make it smaller and dive, while also spreading oxygen through the bloodstream. I won't address gravity and its failures to density and buoyancy, but expect it soon when I debunk the heliocentric model we all love so much. But this is part of my other presentation. Y'all just getting a preview uh, um, of that. I wanted to the Vesica Pisces is called Vesica Pisces because of it literally translates into bladder of a fish. The bladder of a fish, as the fish is using it for its buoyant force to go up and down. Yeah, they swim and use their their fins and all that other stuff. But what really causes them to go up and down is when they mess with a mass and or the matter within them. The more air, oxygen they have in there, or the bladder gets bigger. When they release some of it, it gets smaller, and it always takes the shape of a Vesica Pisces. If you didn't know that, then now you know. But let me get back to the other one that was talking about density and.
Hey, we got Sister Yasini in the building.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
How are you, sister? It's great.
All is well.
Every day is a great day. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Peace and
All right.
Peace and love to you, sister.
All right. Peace and love.
Yeah,
Much love.
All love.
So that pretty much tackles, buoyancy and density, in an aspect of what they're using and calling it gravity, But I'm gonna go deeper into it. You want to add something?
Yeah, I do. Even though I probably missed some part of the show, if I'm reiterating something, then I would just like to state that the gravity theory of gravity can hold the water to a ball on a globe Earth. However, it can't suck that mosquito in or things that are light. It doesn't suck them in, which lends to the fact that the theory of gravity is just that, a theory.
Yeah. Hey, sister, watch this. See, watch this. I don't know if they understand, but put it like this: a cloud has millions of pounds of water. It has millions of pounds of water and they're floating. But we're gonna sit here, and people want to act like gravity exists. I mean, I don't get it. I can't help it. I'm about to give up. I'm just saying, no, for real though. The clouds literally have millions of pounds of water. And what are they doing? They float.
My bad. This is one of those things, man, where up means down and war means peace, and ignorance is blissful, right? So this idea of this double bond,
I need some of them sounds. I got to give me some sounds. I should have dropped a bomb when you said that.
Right. So they have us believing up means down. And how? Gravity. Well, gravity is a gaslighting technique, right? And so in order for us to believe that up meant down, and that instead of everybody standing straight up on a flat stationary surface, they had to implement this word gravity. And that is all to gaslight us into thinking that the people in Australia are upside down right now. And I saw this image of a pilot flying to Australia, and then the next image they had him upside down in Australia. And this is the problem, is that here we are trying to define a word they made up in order to justify their lie. you know. And so now, when we had reasonable questions to how is this possible, they gaslit us with the word gravity. And now, like, so Einstein's definition, I got it pulled up right now. Einstein's definition of gravity, or the general theory of relativity, explains gravity as a distortion of space, or more precisely, space-time, caused by the presence of matter or energy. A massive object generates a gravitational field by warping the geometry of the surrounding space-time. And now space-time is an invisible fabric. And this is something that they completely made up. But because of this logical fallacy where we have to appeal to the authoritarian, that we believe Einstein uh, uh, theory to be actual truth, when there's no proof of it anywhere of this invisible fabric. And you know, like, we're still playing by their rules. You know, we're still giving explanation because this is how they programmed us. So people go, well, what about gravity? And it's a made up word. It only exists in the minds of the creators. You know, therefore everything else is mass, buoyancy, and density. But we have to explain to them these other aspects or these other principles that we are completely unaware of, because they've distracted us with this lie in order to make us believe that we're spinning on this globe made of nothing from nothing, so therefore we must be nothing. And these are the types of words where it's like we have to do away with using their words because we're still playing by their rules. And that's all I had to say about that.
Hey, and Sister Yasini, would you talk to my brother and who left this comment? Could you give him some enlightenment? I can't hear you. I think you're on mute. She on mute.
Yeah, so nobody's falling off the sides of the earth. The only way that you can, as a protective layer, that you do, your oral field, even though people can get, because you're not protecting in your oral field. Earth has its own protective layer where that you can't penetrate. So this is why nobody's falling off, because there's rims and there's layers. But I raised my hand because I wanted, while he was on Einstein, I wanted to speak on Einstein's most favorite formula, E equals mc squared. Now, this is equal to mass times the constant speed of light squared. Okay, so I don't know if you knew, I believe it was like in 2012, I might be off a couple of years, but scientists was able to slow down the speed of light 5 miles per hour. That means that the speed of light is not even constant. So how are you going to square it, put it into a form changing? And I thought I would punch Einstein in his retarded ass eye, and he fucking went with his cousin, and it was all kinds of. He's a Jesuit. So I punched him in his eye, and his theory of relativity, and his favorite formula, E equals mc squared. There is no constant speed of light. It's all Masonic numbering.
Yeah. See, watch this. When he talking about E equals mc squared, he ignored the ethers. You know, like Tesla told him that you have to equate for the ethers. You know, like when you're gonna do all these measurements, you know, he never equated the ethers into his mathematics. And you know, the US was happy with that because they just wanted to be able to prove, you know, gravity. They were like, well, if you eliminate the ethers, you know, E equals mc squared, but you can't eliminate the ethers, you know. Real talk.
Yeah, that's the one part that I omitted from the videos, from the slides, because is the part that I don't I'm gonna do that on my on the whole entire video, but know that I have proof where Einstein himself says that his theory is incomplete and is due to what Brother Calico is currently saying. I have a speech that he gave himself, that where he states that, that he knows that Tesla was right, and without ether there is no creation, and ether is anti-gravitational. Now the
Hey,
brother had asked also.
hey,
uh
Ted, what you got on Admiral Byrd, since he wants to get as
it's
into the realm of the earth?
Yeah, we're gonna address that in the next couple of slides, but to just give them a little something in regards about what he had previously asked about how come nobody has fallen off the earth. I just to grasp the concept of flat earth, you gotta empty your mind and regenerate everything. You can't grab the concept of a globe. You can't grab the concept of a globe and then just flatten it out and still keep the space around it. There is no edge of the world. Now within these confines that we do have edge, if you want to call it, but there is more lands beyond. Space does not equate to outside or up. Space could be expansion, infinite expansion, where there is you ain't the only thing you're gonna fall off is if you run out of earth. You're gonna have either liquid or you're gonna have earth. Within this realm, that's what it does, and that's one of the things that Admiral Byrd ran into, which was extra land. But just wanted to give him that aspect, just to, if he's trying to at least try to comprehend the concept of a flat earth. You can add what has been given to us from a heliocentric model into the flat earth model, saying, okay, well, in the heliocentric model, it's a vast space where a ball is floating in space. So you're telling me that there's this flat disc just floating in space and we could fall off at any time. How do we don't fall? Yeah, no, there is no. And in my other presentation, I'm going to go deep into the fact that, this is actually, like I said in the beginning, a perception is not reality. This is not, I don't know how to, I mean, I know how, but I don't know how to explain it to you guys without going into my other presentation. But this is not what we think it is. This is not what we think it is.
Sorry to interrupt, man, but that's back
Brother.
to the form of conditioning they put onto us. So we asked, how come we don't fall off this spinning ball Earth? And they said gravity. But then they want to use a flat Earth for the edge, right? Well, why won't somebody fall off the edge? And so it's one of those things that they condition these sayings into us that wouldn't come to our normal thought if we walked around a pond, right? So we have to take in consideration, like you said, people have to reconsider the idea of the flat earth. And by doing so, we have to start at the edge, at the rim of the flat earth, and what we know as Antarctica, and that being the bowl that surrounds us, that keeps the waters in. And beyond Antarctica is the unknown. We don't know what's beyond Antarctica because they won't allow us to go past that point. So like you said, rethinking this idea that gravity will keep us stuck to a spinning ball, but what happens at the edge of the flat earth, right? That we're going to fall off of this ice shelf, right? And so it's one of those things, back to the conditioning, back to how they, and they did this to us as we were children. You know, they gave us these double binds. Hey, well, gravity's going to keep you on a spinning ball, but if you're living on a flat earth, you might fall off of it. You understand? And so we're struggling with the types of conditioning that they put onto us more than we are the reality of this world. You know, and I'm sorry, that's all I wanted to say about that. But it's one of those questions that we shouldn't even be answering that question, because it's been conditioned in us for so long that if it was flat, then we'd fall off. But because of this spinning gravitational force, we'll never fall off of a spinning ball, but we'll fall off of a flat surface. That's for sure. You know, and it's crazy. It's just makes me think that there needs to be a time when people have to stop using those forms of logical fallacies, right? And we have to acknowledge that Antarctica is I guess is something like 100 feet ice wall, and we don't know what's beyond that point because nobody has been beyond that point and come back with the truth, I guess. My fault, man. I'm sorry about that. But like I said, that idea that gravity will keep us to a spinning ball, but we're gonna fall off of a flat Earth, is one of those things that they conditioned into us, where it's a double bind. Either you believe in the gravity or you fall off of a flat Earth. You know, and it's just crazy, man. My fault.
What you showing us there, brother Calico? You still there?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just know some people never even seen not even a glimpse of, pretty much what the flat earth is talking about. Matter of fact, I need to pull up the United Nations map. You got that in your presentation anywhere? So I can slap them with that.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah. Let me put this back.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna skip the where. Well, I mean, we could address it just a little bit, I guess. Just as far as the concept of water does not bend. Uh, um, hold on. But while I muted it because I don't want the video to get flagged or whatever. But when we're talking about water, water always has to be contained. Like I said, everything has to be contained within this realm. And the only way water could take a specific shape is if it's manipulated, if it's turned into another system, or if it's manipulated. We observed this in this movie of Avatar. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a real good movie. He finally masters his true self by finally mastering the water bending, which was the last one that he needed to be able to defeat the Fire Nation. So if you haven't seen it, then then go check it out. But water can't bend. The only thing water could do is be manipulated. There is no way around it. There is no other way. Water could only be manipulated, or otherwise it will always find its level. It will never turn into a curve because of no gravitational pull or anything of that nature. So if we could get that aspect out of our head, then we could definitely move forward. Now, how do I get this out of the next uh,
Yeah, so can I address what the brother was talking about
please
before
please go
the
ahead.
Tasmania came in?
Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Okay, so we're talking about the shape of the Earth. Um, there was an experiment done in Russia called Deep Space Cola or something, whereas all the Russian scientists tried to drill into the Earth to get to the center to see what its core was, and they only went 12 kilometers. And all the equipment that they use to try to dig deeper to get to the core, all stopped at 12 kilometers. The shit started happening. They never ever, no matter where they was at, no matter where they dug, ever got past 12 kilometers inside the Earth's crust. So those pictures that they the Earth's crust and all its layer and inside is iron core, that shit never fucking happened. Never happened. So they don't know what's in the core of the Earth. And they don't know none of this stuff. They don't know what the Earth looks like because they can't get enough altitude to get a true pic of the Earth. And even if they could, somebody would have leaked that by now. They don't have this. They're just making and scripting this stuff up like they do everything. They've got us hooked. They got attention, and we just suck up and absorb everything that they say without logic or common sense, without any evidence, any proof, one picture of the one. But we have many CGIs of the Earth, and if you're not discerning and doing your research and finding out, like, hey, this ain't even no picture. Some of their own scientists have come forth to say, like, I'm just a cartoonist. I made this up. I made this up. So we can stop believing every word they say as if they're like the guardians of this galaxy or gods or any of that kind of stuff. It's all script. It's like all of their stuff that they've ever done has scripted. And then if it don't work and we don't believe it, then they, use other measures. But they don't know. They ain't never been to. And as far as Admiral Byrd goes, he did do a live television interview where he was describing the lands that he went to in Antarctica and saw greenery and all kinds of like lakes and waters, not snow or frozen, that he reported on live television, which may have been his demise because he should not have been telling secrets like that to the Commonwealth. So Admiral Byrd was the only general who was allowed to go into inner Earth and outer Earth. And he took notes the whole time. His daughter had him, her daughter released him. He already explained that he went past Antarctica and saw lands. He already gave a whole diary of his trip to inner Earth, which would have been a time when the portals was open. Okay.
And I had to pull this up since we was talking about the core of the Earth. The core of the Earth, man. Let me tell y'all, son, 600 miles beneath the ocean. I mean, beneath the land. They found, or using some kind of like sonar, some kind of sound where they can wait till it reverberates, and they can tell what may be in front of the sound that they are protrude. They send in sound waves and measuring how far it is till it bounces back, so they can tell that water is beneath the Earth 600 miles down. So what you thought was gonna be some lava, I guess, it turns out is, they saying it's an ocean. I'm gonna just read a little bit right quick. This is from 2014. Massive ocean. That's probably about how long I know about it, or close to that. Because massive ocean discovered towards Earth's core. Right? A reservoir of water 3 times the volume of all the oceans. I don't think nobody hear me. But anyway, y'all think flat Earth is crazy. Y'all crazy if y'all get gas lit like this. But I'm just saying, a reservoir of water 3 times the volume of all the oceans. So the world is water. So we're gonna get 3 times more than that and fit it within the containments of 24,800 miles around, not even 25,000 miles around. So inside would be, what are you saying? You fit 3 times the amount of the world's oceans within like 300 miles. You know, that don't make no sense. That's impossible. That's what the core would have to be if the whole ball planet ain't nothing but 25,000 miles around. It's 25,000 miles around. That's not big. Our cars have hundreds of thousands of miles. You know, our feet, our legs have walked more miles than that. You know, or you must have chicken legs. But anyway, a reservoir of water 3 times the volume of all the oceans has been discovered deep beneath the Earth's surface. The finding could help explain where Earth's seas came from. The water is hidden inside a blue rock called ringwoodite. Like they know. Man, let me tell you, they have never dug beyond 8 miles. The 8 miles deep is the deepest hole on Earth that they ever dug. And they did the first 6 miles within like a year and a half. It took them to, you know, like dang 3 more years just to get another 2 miles deep. They can't go no further. They only been 800 miles, so they can't really tell you nothing about no 600 miles deep. Talking about exactly what it was. It's a blue rock called ringwoodite that lies 700 kilometers underground in the mantle. The layer of hot rock. Anyways. I'm just here to, you know, get y'all the question. You know, but we're gonna get back to the presentation for a little while.
Yeah, we already talked about the water. I also touched base. I'm gonna skip this one because I wanna. It has a lot. It has a lot to do with the part with Tesla. But you know there is an affiliation with him and Flat Earth as well, because you know there is a story that says, you know, that we went at, he tried to run away, you know, and that he went to the north, to the what they call the South Pole, you know, or Antarctica, and that he was over there with some serious vehicles. If you want to read something into it, I'm totally into it now, but you could check out this book. It's called The Secret Lost Diaries of Admiral Richard E. Byrd and the Phantom of the Poles. This book is amazing. It's amazing, and it'll tell you, from my perspective, you know, it'll tell you a lot of the information out there that he had put out there, you know, from his interview that he did online and everything else, you know. But that I'm gonna talk about that one over there. I'm gonna touch base on the sun when on my PowerPoint. I guess we could talk about crepuscular rays, just so we won't just leave the sun out. But crepuscular rays are not possible in a sun that's supposed to be how far is the sun? Somebody give me the, I don't wanna say
They say 93 million miles away, but
90 million miles away.
yeah, but if you use a sextant, you know, to actually measure, or astrolabe, or like I say, a sextant, which we use to measure the stars and the distance of anything, lands, you know, seafarers would use that to know how many miles that object that they can measure is. Anything they can line up in their sight. You know, so you can measure the moon and the sun, and you'll see that they both are the same distance, you know, and it's more like 6,000, not 93,000 like they tell us, but
it's in here within us, with us. I mean,
yeah, within the dome, within the Van Allen radiation belt, or they are the Van Allen radiation belt, you know.
right. Whatever you want to call them.
That's that electricity and that's that magnetism. The moon is magnetic, you know. The moon, you know, like raises all of our blood, you know, like that's the only thing. That's what I be telling people, like, okay, we're gonna say the earth got gravity over the moon. Okay, that's like saying me and you, Taz. It's like saying I got magic, right? I got you up in the air with my magic powers, right? Raw, and you got enough power to control my eyebrows. You know, like how the hell you can't control my eyebrows? If I can control your whole being and got you hoisted there, how the hell do you control my eyebrows? You know, because that's what the moon is doing. The moon gets to control things like the ocean, you know, and like the blood in our bodies. But we're gonna say we control it. We the reason it's sitting right there. But it has control over things on earth. So it's like, shouldn't it be subservient? You know, it shouldn't have any power if you have power over it. Because everything else you have power that gravity has power over has no control over earth whatsoever.
I just wanted to touch on something real quick. Is that we're thinking of the moon as by their definition. We're thinking of the moon as an extraterrestrial place, that it's a floating landmass above our head. You know what I mean? And this is because we don't have a true definition of what the moon actually is. And this idea of how the moon and the sun operate. There's a system called quantum levitation. It's on that list I gave you, D. And there's a video on there, that quantum levitation video, and it has to do with the sun being a oh man, come on, there's the word slipping my mind, man. But the sun works off a magnetic field, and so does the moon. And so instead of us thinking of the sun as it being 93 million miles away, this gaseous planet, we need to think of it as technology, wirelessly controlled, and it could be wirelessly controlled. And I'm just speculating. And the same thing with the water. The center of the earth, the navel of the earth, would be the North Pole, and the moon and the sun could be magnetically charged to the North Pole. And there's a gentleman on that list also by the name of Searle, Searl, and he created a generator based on magnetic polarity. And this is a thing that we're not taught. We're taught that the moon is an extraterrestrial landmass instead of plasma controlled wirelessly from the center of the earth. And the same with the sun. We're taught the sun is 93 million miles away instead of a form of technology. And that's what I wanted to end on.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. I appreciate everybody sharing as well, because it gives me a total other understanding as well, to and it's gonna help me finish this presentation. So so if you guys looking to hear it or whatever in the future, be sure that you guys subscribe to all our channels. So make sure you give this video a like too. Share it wherever it is that you that you're at. And spread it just so people could get a different perspective of what's going on. Should I go to the next slide, brother Calico? Yeah, right.
Yes,
Um, the long shadow of Mount Rainier. I guess I'll leave that one for the next one. This one's an empty slide. Empty slide. This is not possible on Earth. The moon, I'm also going to address on the next slide. But we could address the moon landing because, it's to me, it's a complete joke to have you guys watched the whole moon landing, and or at least when they took off or whatever? It if you watch it, you have to be, I guess, crazy to be able to believe that that actually occurred with the parts that they're showing you, the aluminum or whatever. And then when these brothers came back, I mean, me personally, if I just came back from a moon, I know that that's a feat that is gonna stand up there for a very, very long time. Even if somebody gonna get up there, it ain't gonna be that many people. It's usually gonna be the same people over and over and over again. So I mean, and these people came back, and they had literally no form of emotion or whatever. When other people have different feats, and it's a complete party. What do you want to add, Brother Calico?
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me put the comment back because I think somebody just said hold on. This person say they say the sun is 3 million. Oh, my bad. They corrected it. They say, yeah, 93 million miles away. That's what they say. I just was showing that is what they say. Because I definitely don't. But like it says right here, it says what is 93 million miles away from the Earth? The sun is about 150 billion meters or 93 million miles away from Earth. Yeah, that's what they say. But we ain't falling for it. Hold on.
Most definitely. Let me go to the next slide. Oh, I have a video. I'll let you guys see
Can
that.
I chime in before you go to the next? Can I chime
Yes,
in before you go to the next slide?
please do, sister.
Okay. So the moon and the sun are luminaries, and when you get your P9000 and you look at the like Mars, Jupiter, and some of the other planets, as shimmering and not as the NASA drew them that they look like. They don't look anything like that. Mars, I believe, is taken in the desert in Nevada. Okay, they can't. Okay, you as a science or in your scientific mind, D. Calico and Tass and our other brother, when you're headed towards or the kind of light and energy that the sun and the moon gives about, each equal distance that you go closer to it, the light is going to get brighter. So at some point before you land on the moon, you're not going to be able to see anything because of the brightness of the light, because they're luminaries and not terrain like the Earth. They're all luminaries. They're all.
Hey, I approve that message because definitely when we talking about stars or whatever, that is essentially that's sonoluminescence, and yes. I'm gonna pull it up for the people. But sonoluminescence is essentially sound. When sound penetrates a bubble underwater, we have what we call sonoluminescence, which is like an explosion of light, but
absolutely.
But somehow we were prolonging that state of luminance, that is still, that's what the star is, because all of us have seen what stars look like up under the telescope, and we know
yes
that there's nothing physical. There's nothing physical.
And the only reason why NASA can get away with that, and they're not even getting away with it with the whole world. They're only like pushing that bullshit to the uninitiated or the people who don't do any sciences. Then it's easy to just like take their word for everything they say. Yeah, we went to the moon, blah blah blah, because you're not logically thinking. You're not putting two and two together. You're not doing any of that. And so they get to ride with that on the masses. However, the few free thinkers like us and our communities know better. Yeah, we know better. You didn't land on the moon. There's no moon to land on. It's a portal. It's a light.
Let me share this right quick. Hold on. Just to make sure that I explained it correctly, because I felt like I was freestyling, but it is what it is. But sonoluminescence is the emission of short bursts of light imploding from imploding bubbles in a liquid when lighted by sound. This is why we say in the beginning was the word. Because we know words is a sound, is a vibration. So don't mean you understand the language, but that sound that you emitted, on a godly level up there in the true heavens, that can cause some magic. You feel me? Who's that talking about? You don't know what sonoluminescence is? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, y'all need to hit that like button, because one thing about it, when you talk about the flat earth, you're gonna get so many thumbs down. Them trolls come out of everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all got to do is definitely hit the like button if you ain't no troll. You feel me? Let me show y'all. But yeah, sonoluminescence. He said I ain't know what I was saying, but I just said they saying the same thing I said. And if I pull up a video, or matter of fact, just the image should be good enough, because I know I don't want to get flagged. Let me see. Yeah. But
yeah, sound and frequency was here before light.
Yeah. Exactly. Like they say, I can't really zoom it in like I want to. Let me I think I can make it bigger. Yeah, if you collapse an underwater bubble with a sound wave, light is produced, and nobody knows why. Huh? That's what they say. Or do I have to share? Hey, hold on. I ain't get my boy no wrench yet. Let me give you a wrench so you can goddamn handle that crowd, man. I know I done gave a couple of y'all some wrenches, man. I'm making y'all moderators. Y'all handle them lightweights, man.
You know what's unfortunate about those lightweights is that they don't have an original thought, and their only tool is cynicism. Their only tool is that they're going to be cynical with you and hopes that it gets you from reinstating your point, right? And so we're saying, hey, from what we know, that's not a floating landmass up there. From what we understand, that looks like sound energy in water, right? And here comes the cynicism. And people have to understand is that we were conditioned the same way. We're piecing these things together um, um, without the logical fallacies, right? So like I said, they want us to believe that Mars is a floating landmass, and people are cool with that, right? But if we say it's sonoluminescence, it's what happens when sound is compressed underneath water, right? Oh, something's wrong with us, and this is the conditioning. This is what they did to people. And unfortunately, people are unaware that they have been conditioned this way, and they fight for the system, you know, and they fight. They so we're hey, have you ever had a brownie? And the guy's like, nah, I never had a brownie. You know, and well, here, try this brownie. And they're like, oh no, get that brownie out of my face. You know, and it's unfortunate because we're trying to give them some nourishment. We're trying to make sure that somebody else who's listening um, can figure it out. But we have to combat off the cynicism, and that's their only tool. They're all, and it's more of a psychological warfare than it is about what we can actually prove and replicate and duplicate. You know, it's more of that they have their minion, and their minion is to protect this idea of the globe Earth, and they just repeat what they're supposed to repeat, and that's to stop us from figuring out what this world is about and our purpose within it. And I noticed the comments, man, and it's unfortunate that you know, in a free and open society we have to deal with those types of people, but it's not their fault. It's how they were conditioned. It's what they were taught to do. You know.
Yeah, that's for real. That's for real. And that was an excellent way to explain it. They just That's the best they can do is be cynical. You know, they can't combat it. You know, like they can't go fact for fact. You know, they can't rebut one thing we gonna open our mouth and say. You know, they can't rebut not one, not in an intelligent way. They don't want to have an intelligent competition. I bet you that they're gonna get suplexed. You know, yeah. But yeah, whoever Sean is, he got his damn mind. You know, this the way we think right here. Let me show you how to Kim Soul Infinite Light. Let him talk to that fool in the chat. But yeah, you know, it's really already been awesome, to be honest with y'all. You know, I really want the people to know how they can you know, keep up with y'all, because my boy Taz, he got the sauce, and you know, hey, you know, by the looks of this event, you know, he might invite us back. So, you know, if y'all really liked it like that, I'm sure if y'all let Taz know, he'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's for
Hey,
real. So
yeah. So can I say something about sound and light?
of course, please do.
Okay. So sound, which is vibrational, and if you know anything about universal law, then you'll know that the universe is mental. Just knowing that the universe is mental, meaning that the physical part of the universe is the illusional part, or the matrix part, or what you experience is illusional. But some or vibration or frequency, mental.
It's a goddamn video game.
So dig on that. I'm not gonna go any deeper. Just dig on what I just said. That the universe is mental, and vibration and frequency. Yeah, it's not physical, but mental. And then when you get into the physical portion of it, you're in an illusion. It's illusionary. We're experiencing life. It's an
That's a,
experience.
the beautiful principle of vibration. You know, everything vibrates, everything, nothing is at rest, right? And so these are the aspects of life that that so there's this principle of polarity, right? And the principle of polarity that should give us a clear definition on how things operate. Why does a cold mirror attract hot steam? But what they did with these principles is that they obscured them, and they made them hard to decipher. So now, as we present a principle, say the principle of water always leveling out, the principle of water always taking the form of its container, because they have obscured these principles, now we have to guide people through it. And there's a saying, right, that I woke up early in order to have breakfast prepared for those that slept late. And if you wake up anybody who's asleep, they're gonna get angry. You know, and so it's up to us to remember this. And I fail at sometimes, but I fail to remember that these people just haven't seen the image. These people just haven't understood the principle. And once we, how many times have we seen the globe? How many times have we seen space in movies and in TV? And once people start seeing the truth and it's more readily accessible, we won't have to deal with a lot of the things that we deal with. But like you said, it's just one of those things that people don't know the truth behind it, and they're giving a gaslight. They're giving a gaslighting technique instead of the truth, and that's what I wanted to say on that.
So you see my globe. You see my globe in the background. That's so I can when people are here on that globe Earth shit. This is so I can like center it to like us in the United States, and I can spin it. Listen, I can spin it and show them like, look, at some point somebody's gonna be upside down. At some point, like rain is on the earth under here, and it's raining. What's going on? So I have to use a globe, like I have to use a Bible for Christians. I have to like point them out shit and say, hey, look at here. So I just want to explain my globe in the background is for teaching purposes only, for the show somehow make their way into my crib periodically, not often, but when they do, and we get on these subjects, I have to spin it. I have to like look here. You really think we're doing this 1,000 miles per hour around?
I got a globe too. I got me a globe too, and I like to ask the question about Mercury in retrograde, right? So if we're facing away from the sun and Mercury is in between us and the sun, there should be no way possible that we can see Mercury move the opposite direction across the night sky, But these are the things that they tell us. Oh, it just appears that Mercury is moving across the sky, and it's like, no. If I grab this globe and I put it in front of the light, and I put 2 tennis balls between me and the light, I should not be able to see Mercury when I'm facing the opposite direction, But they have us believing that stuff, and they'll use Mercury in retrograde to explain it away. Oh, it just appears that way. We're gonna gaslight you, and and they really didn't think out the heliocentric model, because there's so many flaws in it, and that's one of them, is being able to pull out the globe and say, well, what about this?
They didn't, and they also would tell you that even though Mercury is closest to the sun, Venus is hotter than Mercury. How? If I'm closest to the sun, the next planet out, Venus, is hotter than me? Because they're not telling you the truth. They're only going to give you some truths. They're going to give you some lies with it. And it's up to you and your discernment to figure out everything, because they're not just telling all lies. They're just not finna like hook you up and tell you like everything that they know. They're gonna give you some truth. They're gonna give you some lies. You need to put that puzzle together, and not just in flat Earth, but in everything.
It was, instead of saying north, south, east, and west, I'm gonna say up, down, left, and right. And what in the hell? What in the hell is up, down, left, or right on a spinning ball? If I throw a ball across the field You cannot tell me which part of that ball was the upside, the downside, the east, west, north side. There's no such thing on a spinning ball. How can a ball have direction to that? Like what is down? What is truly down? You talking about a ball in the middle of space. There is no up in space. There's no left to the left in space. There's no, what the hell? There's got to be.
And how can you land on a spinning ball? Say you are in an airplane and you're ready to land on something that's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Really? You're gonna land on it, skid, and come to a stop with it still spinning. Come on, like this is what I'm saying. This is the like the illogical ass shit that everyone's falling for without being a freaker and thinking that like if something is spinning on like spin something at 1,000 miles per hour, make up your little spin it at 1,000 miles per hour, take your plane and land on that one spot in that one city at that one certain time. Come on. Yeah. And how come your flight to then is the same distance or time on your flight from Japan when the earth is spinning one way? Now, there's got to be some lag somewhere. Come on. We use our sciences when we're looking at this stuff that these pretenders are hitting us with. They everything that they're doing is a pretense, a script, is fake, is false, old factor. Can't land on 1,000 miles per hour spinning globe on the tarmac. Stop it.
Like somebody finally agree with me. Exactly. There's no up and down in space. Like, it's so redundant. It's ridiculous. But oh shoot, I got my brother right here. I'm tripping. But if y'all wanna definitely,
I got kicked out. My fault.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. I wanted to touch that up is down. Up is down because of gravity, right? And like I said, gravity shouldn't even exist in our vocabulary, but they have us believing that up means down when no one ever has taken a picture or has ever experienced up being down, right? No one ever. We can always distinguish in every picture the difference between up and down, right? But because they tied this idea of gravity, this gaslighting technique, right? And gravity is a gaslighting technique. That's all it is. But we have to explain why this double think, right? People holding these two contradictory ideas at the same time, right? And we have to explain to them how up and down are always opposing each other, right? And so they want to talk to us about up and down in space. Well, we know that we haven't been past the firmament. We haven't been past the Van Allen belts to experience that. So they said if somebody's on the moon, are they looking down at the earth or are they looking up at the earth, right? If there's no up or no down. But that's back to the idea of war means peace, right? Here's another contradictory idea that we hold at the same time. No, peace means peace, right? And we have to deprogram people from thinking that this word they made up keeps people from being upside down and attached to a spinning ball, but it would make them fall off of a level surface, And it's just crazy, all the types of manipulation techniques that they use to get us to this point in order to believe in a ball earth. And one of them is this idea of doublethink. It's truly Orwellian, you know, and they have us thinking that at the same time we can hold war means peace, right? Ignoring the red flags is blissful, and up means down. And that's just what I wanted to end on that on that topic. That how can this be possible, but in the minds of the people who use it to gaslight other people? And that's what I wanted to say about that.
Hey Taz, I definitely wanted the people to hear from you when you plan on probably dropping that presentation, and then I probably want to get the final remarks from everybody. What y'all really want to what anything else y'all might want to let the people know. Go ahead, brother Tad.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. More than likely, this presentation I'll probably have it within probably another 2 weeks to a month, somewhere around there. Depending on I do have a baby on its way, so I mean it's gonna I'm working with that aspect as well. He's due June 2nd, so depending on what day he comes about, there's gonna be a period of time that I'm just gonna separate myself altogether from social media, just while I enjoy my child, his first couple of days, do the ritualistic things that I want to do throughout the process of those first couple of weeks, and then more than likely I'll have the presentation out there. If you could share my screen real quick, brother. Yeah, if anybody's interested in looking me up, I greatly appreciate you if you go to my channel on YouTube under the Task Show and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell, to make sure that you get all the notifications for everything. On Facebook, you can find me under Tasmaniac Wolf, and you also find me on Crumb TV along with Brother Calico and our brother Crumb Snatcher. So I have I have like 3 presentations that I'm gonna drop before June. So be on the lookout for those. More than likely the flat Earth, the Kabbalion explained, and I have another presentation that I haven't come up with a title yet, but I greatly appreciate the chance of being on the platform, being praised by the goddess herself, Yasini. Always, grateful to be around you, brother Kako. We always dropping some nukes on here. So
Yeah. Hey, and anybody who on my YouTube, you can definitely go to the profile, and I got Taz page featured. I got Sister Denise, her page just featured, and and my brother McKinley, he's an artist. He's a musician of sorts. Like jazz music, all that good stuff, and he's very conscious with it. So, y'all might definitely want to follow all of these people. And hold on, I'm gonna let matter of fact, I'm gonna let my brother McKinley, give his trailing words or anything you want to let the people know before you go, or can we follow you on YouTube or?
Well, no, maybe probably on Instagram, man. You can follow my art page, and that's the logo design that you see there at Chemtrails Designs. Look for at Caradolia Effect, and you'll be able to follow my art page on there. But I just wanted to give a shout out, Taz, man. I was enjoying that presentation so much. It brought a lot of things to light, and I want to appreciate your time. And to the Alhambra family, y'all already know, man. Thank you so much for embracing me. Thank you for bringing me in, and letting me or providing this platform, man. And it's not just, it's for everyone, man. And I appreciate that, and everyone's bravery on speaking out. Like, I appreciate that. And the last thing that I want to end on is that this is all psychological. This is all for us to question who we are to each other. right? And who we mean to each other. And if they can get us to believe that we are nothing spinning through the nothing, then who we are to each other is less important. And they do this to our children at an early age. They convince them that they are nothing. And this war, there's 20 manipulative techniques that people use to try to silence you. I wish I had a link to that article, but it's a great article. And if people can get into it, and they'll realize how we've been conditioned. Another one is studying logical fallacies. If people, because I believe all globe arguments are all logical fallacies, nothing can be proven. We just have to take someone else's word on that. And that's the only thing that I wanted us to think about. And then think about how these techniques are used against us in our everyday life. And I think this is why they get us at such an early age, is because now that we're adults, they can gaslight us with while we're adults. They can use logical fallacies against us while we're adults in certain situations, like the current situation. Everyone else is doing it type deal. But once again, guys, thank you so much for having me on. I learned so much every time I watched. Like I said, I thought I was watching earlier and I wasn't a participant. It was a great presentation, Paz. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. Peace to the Alhambra family. And peace to our mothers, man. There's only one way to the way, you dig. And I appreciate you guys having me on. That's it. I'm out.
Hey,
Most definitely, most definitely.
hold on one second. I got my sister Yasini in the building. Go ahead, sister, and definitely leave them whatever your final remarks are also.
Okay, so just to work to the people who think they're gonna fall off the edge. If you want to move past NASA and think the Earth as a disk, and not even a spinning disk, but a flat disk, if you want to imagine an aura field, a circle, which they're calling the globe, is the aura field or the toroidal field or the Van Allen belts or the Earth's protective layer. If you want to draw a circle around this disk, then you're on the right track, because you'll see on this disk it's going to be or flat lands. However, the aura field, the field around it, just like the field around your body, may be very well moving through the universe at 1,000 miles per hour, but not around the sun, because the sun is localized and inside the aura field with the moon as luminaries for light and day. If you want to go to your biblical scriptures to help you out, do so. However, consider the earth as this disk, not spinning, but the aura field around it spinning and moving throughout. If you want to say there's a galaxy and a solar system and all of that shit. But understand that nobody's falling off. Otherwise than that, you can find me on YouTube as Denise Grant, White Dove in the Blue Sky. You can find me on Facebook as Denise Grant. And go to my channel on YouTube. You'll find all my credentials and all my contact info for books, jewelry, and else I'm on. And Tasmaniac, I caught y'all tonight here for like a whole hour, and I caught y'all, and I'm glad y'all was able to let me tune in, and I'm not missing part 2. And peace and love to both of you, kings.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate you, joining in with us. And it's been real, and especially the chat. Y'all back me up, because I know them trolls come out when you do a flat earth video. I know I did one before, and I'm like, dang, I ain't never had so many thumbs down. You know what I mean? So you see, they was about to come out. They was coming too. This nobody's talking about. Hey, I guess they got man. He's going too far. He's teaching the people about sonoluminescence. They got mad about it. Like, no. Like they probably done hit the report button. They're like, well, I ain't found a reason to report it yet. Yeah, no. They might pay him to get rid of it.
Say copper. Peace and love, wholeness, love, and light to Rael said copper.
Hey, my brother. Hey, hold on.
My bad.
Look, my brother Jay Valentino been here since the beginning. And you see what he said at the end? He say, man, come on. You know what I mean? That's how you know. That's how you know it was real. You know?
Yeah.
Hey,
Jay Valentino.
Hey, but we all appreciate all of y'all. And you know, I want to put a little music in y'all ears. I don't know why I do it, but I do it. You know, birds of a feather fly together. All of us musicians, pretty much. So, I'm gonna rock with it like this and just.
I'm about that money, so you know I'm with it. Niggas hating, got a young nigga that's really with it. 4-5 on deck, and they will build it. Pushing boys talking shit, but they ain't really with it. I told her to skip like a gay creases. Not choose crime scenes, they gon' need forensics. Little me, who me, I don't know who did. Handle beat like I label, yeah, I'm so independent. You can call yourself a master when you don't know no limits. The sky's the limit. Time is what you listen, it's time to get out. Time to no more tripping, no more slipping. Just collect dough, monopolize the game when you pick up your check and pass go. No assholes, whatever, delete our cash flow. He tucked out, but